All right, all right, all right. I guess we can turn the music down a bit. Like here. We need it to be playing so I can hear how loud it is. There we go. And yeah, okay. My monitor broke. Classic. Instead of buying a new one because I'm a lazy piece of shit, really like a complacent piece of shit, I guess is kind of more accurate. I'm like, I should just get a new monitor, but I right now it's more the problem is that I can't show Twitch chat on the right monitor. So we need to run a Twitch chat client that I can hide under my monitor that's less shit than like the embedded Firefox one, right? Sorry, hide under my camera. I don't know if that's what I said. So there's like a lot of like little things to expose here. Our we want to like use our hand rolled GUI framework, which means that we're going to expose a lot of problems in there. The big ones right now are we need a scroll list, but also I kind of want like a general prototype of a Twitch chat client so that we can see all the places that our GUI framework fucking sucks. And so as part of that, I want to fix like auth in this chat client. In fact, it's probably broken right now. You are supposed to, at some point, get like an OAuth key from Twitch. So you connect a WebSocket somewhere, and then out of band, you like send an HTTP request somewhere, and you go like, hey, can you send all of this like these events to this WebSocket? And to do that, you need to like have a key where you said like, hey, this user has allowed this bot to do these actions on his behalf, essentially. And so we kind of just like hacked it before, where we kind of manually grabbed the code and copy pasted it somewhere. I would like to not have to do that. But to do that, we have to have like an HTTP client that will like talk to someone and go like, hey, can I get like this key that I'm supposed to use? Here are some like redirect the user over here. When they say, okay, we're good to go, send them back to me, and then I'll like do my stuff. So things we need to do that. Auth stuff. We need an HTTP server and an HTTPS client. HTTP server is like localhost. It's like my browser on my machine talks to my app on my machine. So you don't have to worry about like HTTPS here, but we do need an HTTP server. And then we need an HTTPS client to be like send like secret stuff to from Twitch API, right? And so we definitely don't have. So the Zig standard library has this, but it's like it's too much for me, and also it like doesn't really work in non-blocking mode. I don't think. So I kind of want to take a peek, and maybe this is what we do in the main segment today. Because I think we have an HTTP server in our event loop stuff. I'm not sure though. So that's kind of like my headspace right now. Let's take a look at what we got in here. I'm pretty sure our event loop stuff has like an event loop HTTP server that we've used. Net server, HTTP connection. Okay. So this guy works on some NetStream. He has a parent allocator, so he allocates some space for himself, and he has an HTTP reader. Interesting. And is this from our HTTP library? It is. Okay. So I presume that this connection, he like handles some HTTP reader stuff, and eventually will like call out to our thing. Handed off. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So this guy kind of like registers himself with the event loop, reads the HTTP request, then replaces himself on the event loop with our thing. This is not how I would write this today. And I don't actually like this because it's like too intertwined. Yeah, okay. Let's okay, so we also have like HTTP server v2 we can do as well, because I just don't like the way this is written here. And then I don't think we have a client. Okay, let's look at the HTTP library. What the fuck does that thing do? What is our thing? So we have an HTTP reader who does what? While the HTTP reader prefers to store its data discontiguously, in reality, if our HTTP header is long enough that we cannot cheaply keep it incontiguous, we should reject it. No one should be sending us a 3 megabyte header. True. There's probably some like actual limit for it. So this literally, we just give him a buffer and try to read it. And if that fails, wait, what is this? This is HTTP header. Oh, I see. Then our HTTP reader, variety streamer, Zig 0.313, Zig 0.14, Zig 0.15. Yeah, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek variety for sure. Interesting. So, grow. What the fuck is this thing doing? What the fuck is this thing? Grow. Oh, interesting. So this thing is written to say, hey, let's get some writable area for this buffer. Then you read into this thing however you want, and then call grow on us. So this was written before like the Zig reader writer stuff. I see. Okay, some of the bones here are okay. And then we have like some, oh, we have an HTTP writer as well. Look at that. Okay. So the question is do we refactor some of this to work with like Zig IO reader writer? I think so. Okay, so we also have like HTTP reader writer with std IO. Yeah, okay. I mean, in reality, we don't really have to rewrite this stuff, but I think that with like the new IO pipelining stuff, it's just kind of nicer. And we have like a better idea of like how we want to write these APIs now. So maybe let's do that. Let's do that. So probably HTTP reader v2 is where we start. And what do we actually want to do here? So we want to take in a reader, right? And this thing is a pointer. And we generally want to expose some sort of poll function that will return like some result, right? That's kind of how we like to structure these things now. And we'll say like body, and we'll give him back a new reader, right? So we'll say, hey, you have a body to read. Here you fucking go. And he might also have he might say like header. So I guess it's more actually like every time we give him something, we have like body reader like this, and he is free to read this if he wants. He doesn't have to, but he can. And then we have the header, which is a header here. That's kind of how I believe this should work. Does this guy like stash anything interesting? Interesting. So before he was returning kind of like ranges into the content. We probably don't really want to do that anymore. So this might be v2 as well. And the problem here is that if we stash this stuff from the like, if this is like a reference to std IO reader buffer, then like any reads on the body will invalidate this stuff. So we might want to have an allocator associated with this thing to duplicate it. Unclear. But I do not think that I want it to be like the way it was before, so we can kind of, at the very least, I think that, like, API-wise, it's probably like this. And then we'll have to figure out what to do with, like, ownership later. Bad Tuple, thank you for the prime. Much appreciated. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay. So this guy pulls on input. So he's got, like, hell, I take myself. And we are going to want to basically, like, sample from this guy. So we have, like, self input. No, thank you for the stream. It's very kind, very kind. Why is this not auto-completing? This feels like when you want to write a better interface and you start from scratch and you write the same interface. Well, maybe. I mean, we have more experience with writing these, like, externally pollable, like, event loop things than we did at this point. Like, this was written a long time ago. Long time ago. Well, I mean, we could check, right? Yeah, like, almost a year ago now, right? And so, like, we kind of were writing our event loop along with this thing, and we were like, I don't think I had, like, a good feel yet for what I like in terms of these, like, async, like, non-blocking reader APIs. I'm much happier with, like, the way that we do it now, which again could be maybe in a year we'll not like that again. But at the very least, this thing doesn't, like, integrate well with the standard library. So I would like to do that a little better. And I would like it so that consumers of this HTTP reader, like, don't have to tie themselves to the event loop specifically as well. Like, there's kind of something here where just, like, we can kind of decouple things a little better now. We have, like, better strategies for that. So maybe it's a fucking waste of time, but who fucking cares, you know? I don't have a job. We can do this forever. We can literally do this forever. Oh, this is why I put the fucking wrong type in here. Yeah, I think you could feel more Ziggy. I get that with Go. Yeah. And then also, like, back at this point in time, like, Zig 015 hadn't come out yet, right? So, like, kind of the direction they were going was unknown as well. Okay. So we want to, like, look at the buffer data, and then maybe this header can just be parsed off that thing, right? So header v2 probably can reuse all of the same code from header v1. Almost. It's just he's going to express that stuff a little bit different. Probably, right? So it's just, instead of storing ranges here, he's, like, looking at content from target start, target. Oh, we actually just have target here. Yeah, and fields, we literally, line end +2. So this is, and then content len here, this is wrong, because we need to find fields. So we're looking for the first line. Oh, this is the first line, I see. And so we need to find, like, end of header. Yeah. So this thing was not checking that the whole header existed yet, but we can do that. And this is kind of like a stupid version of that, but it's, like, fine. Right? And if this doesn't happen, we return error incomplete. Right? Easy. Okay. Yep. And so now we can say that the fields is from line end +2 to end of header. Okay. That feels kind of right. That feels kind of right. So these APIs, like, we might want these later, but I don't feel like we need to include them until we find a strong need for them. So we can kind of just do this for now. And so now our reader v2 poll is going to try, he's going to be like, yo, let's try to make a header out of these things. And this guy should also kind of tell us how much of the content he consumed, right? So maybe this guy holds us like a body start, like this. And we kind of store that as end of header. Or something like that. +4. Right? For RN. Something like that. Now this guy can be like, so now he's going to return a result sometimes. Maybe he won't return a result, right? So if this thing is not ready, is it nicer to work this off a reader? That's unclear to me. Because, like, this guy needs a... I guess we're going to return error incomplete for almost everything here, right? Right? That makes sense? Well, here, I guess it's not incomplete. So here, if we read the first line, then it should be the first line. So this is invalid. So we can... let's say parse error here is like, what are like things that we're gonna want to do here? We're gonna want to handle incomplete, right? Where that just means like fucking rip it again later. Try again later. Are you gonna use this in the WebSocket too, or stay with stdlib HTTP? I think the WebSocket thing kind of, it doesn't need to do anything like that complex with the header parsing. So right now it does its own thing. Right, we can actually look, right? So when he reads the HTTP response, I think he literally just parses it himself. Because he's kind of already doing his own thing. Like his let's see. WebSocket. So he looks for a double RN. And then he just doesn't give a fuck about the body. So he doesn't really have to do anything that complicated. Right, he can literally just look for double RN and like split the string itself. So I think the constraints might be a little bit different because we have, for the WebSocket, you have like one request that you will send ever and one response that you expect ever. So you don't really need anything that generic is kind of my idea of it. You're interested in memory safe Zig, which performs Zig source that performs static analysis of compile time. The generated analyzer casts may like use before assignment, use after freeze, stack pointer escapes. Interesting. Oh, that's all I was trying to do. That is cool. I'd be interested in checking it out at some point. Cool. Yeah. I was thinking there are things that I would want to try in that area, but I didn't have any like good enough ideas to like start. But that's kind of sick. Okay. Invalid. If we see something that is not a valid HTTP header, we probably just like freak the fuck out. We probably just close the connection. And is there anything else we care about here? Probably not, right? So if this is incomplete, and is incomplete an error? Or is incomplete a... Like, incomplete is kind of like an expected case. So maybe it's just this. In which case, then, we can just say any error is like an actual fuck you. That seems reasonable. So this is null. We are not ready. then all of this stuff can just error however the fuck he wants, and all errors are handled the same. We just close the connection. Okay, sure. That seems reasonable. I like parse here better. Oh no, just getting that project for example. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so we might try this thing. Otherwise, we're not ready yet, so we just, piss off, right? Then we have a header. So we kind of want to like toss probably the header body start, right? Kind of say, get rid of everything here. And I think for now, fix me header like if we want the header content, we need to put them on an allocator. Like, we have to. We don't really have a choice. So I guess this is kind of like a scratch allocator. Probably. And we can throw this in here, and then we can put alloc here. And technically, it might make more sense to leave this up to the caller. So we can kind of say here that we have a dupe, right? And he can choose to copy this stuff somewhere else. That seems reasonable. That seems reasonable to me. So here we're like return method. I guess we do this. We do this. We do this. We write a macro to, oopsies, we write a macro to put a dot, yoink to this, find this, equals paste, comma, boom, 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 boom. And we forgot to write self on all these. And then on the ones that need it, we do a little alloc dupe u8 like this. Yep. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Call this temp header. Yep. And we'll just put a note here. Returned reader. Returned reader will invalidate buffer referenced by temp header. If callers want, like, so, yeah, we'll say this. Sure. Okay, so then our little trick here has been to stash our own limited reader. Optional, maybe, is what we do here. And every time we do this, we say, if there is some limited reader here, we have like, we like consume it. So we might have like some like consume previous content. Which, by the way, I think that the old version of this didn't even support. So we're actually like adding features here at the same time. I think the old version had to close the connection after every message. If I guess we have like var l is self-limited or else return, and then I think we put like a little ampersand on this and put in brackets, I think. And we have like hello? Oh, is the ampersand here? I think it's here. There we go. And then we discard all. Discard remaining, maybe? Nice. Easy. So we say, every time we pull this thing, make sure that there's no previous content to deal with. Okay, and then we also probably have to say self-limited is equal to null at the end of this, reset that shit so we know that there's nothing outgoing. And then all we have to do is construct this limited reader. So we need the content length out of this header, right? So So that's probably where this stuff comes in, this like field iter shit. Let's take a peek. Okay. So this guy's like, hit me with the v2. We don't need to pass the content anymore. And we can split the field on this thing. Yep. Okay. And is this all the same? This looks the same, yeah. I'm now thinking, actually, that we don't need this dupe. What we should do instead is we should pass the target as part of this, I think. Well, I guess we have no guarantee that they aren't going to want to look at the headers. Okay, fine. Maybe we can do something where, like, they might be able to call poll in a way, like, where maybe have poll API where they don't care about headers, right? So that they can like choose to tank the cost of the copy if they want it, right? But otherwise they don't. But for now, we just will duplicate all the time. Okay. So we need to find the content length, right? So for, I guess we have like, do we care about anything else? I don't know. Get content, extract content length from the header. And we have field iter while we hit this guy. We have some field and we look for, can we lower these on the fly? I guess we can't. Lower buff. Can we do like a stood ASCII lowercase lower string in lower buff? Nice. With field name key. And we do like a, if lower key is content length or something. We return stood format. What is it? Like format? Parse it? Yeah, nice. As a usize, we are parsing the value of this field in base 10, right? Probably. Okay, so now this guy can be like, yo, extract content length from the header, probably from the temp header. We'll probably do this first. We only have to copy if we succeed. Then we say, so this is where we commit. This is where we commit to consuming the data. So this is when we want to, I don't know, set the limited thing. And then we should also assert that at this point the limited thing is null. We are expecting that because we check it up here, but a little defensive programming never hurt anybody. Is it like an init in here or something? Probably, right? We got init with limited buffer. So here we probably want them to have a read buff so that we can provide that here. And limit is the content line. Easy, right? Easy peasy. Then we just return this, right? We go, here you go. Header is header. And body reader is the limited interface. Boom. Boom. And then they go fucking crazy. Then they can go crazy. Yeah, easy. Okay. So can we write a quick and dirty server around this thing? What do you think is going on here? Failed to load module. Well, then get the fuck out of here. Get out. Delete node. There we go. Get out of here. You made that? No. This I did not make. That's the problem. That's the problem. We need that shit out of there. No using software that we didn't write. Illegal. This probably needs like an init in some way, right? So this is just like this. OBS rewriting coming one day. That's on the list of things I want to do. I think writing an H.264 encoder would be so fun. I think it would be so fucking fun. I guess we need like a little test case for this now, huh? I mean, technically we could just write tests, I guess, but let's can we just like go to Google or something and use that as our little example? This is in HTTP. Okay. Might be doable using the Vulkan Video API. Interesting. Import source HTTP. This doesn't depend on jack shit, right? It shouldn't. Oh, he does. All right. Well, he doesn't have to, but he does in this case. So that means that we need to do a little bit more intelligent example. Add executable root module is one of these. We should try to get the other, like, I think that we can do it without, how do I say this? Without dependencies on any of our other shit. But whatever. Opt. All right. We need to add an import of this guy from this guy. Okay. Pub function main. Return error. Uh-oh. Alright, let's see what happens here. What is this guy pissed about? He's like, no names. So true. And technically, this should be like client example, probably, to be honest. Alright. Does he build now? Nice. Okay. So, can we do a little HTTP www.google.com? So how does this work? We probably use stud. And can we do a little stud net TCP connect to host? Like this. Port 80. And then can we go reader, please, read buff. This guy needs to be at least the size of the maximum HTTP header size. Max HTTP header size. So there is that. 8 kilobytes. Varies. Is it like in spec? Max HTTP header size spec. Is that a thing? HTTP does not define a limit, but 8 or 16K seems fine. All right. Cannot accept headers larger than this. Smile. Okay. So then we have our HTTP reader is this guy, HTTP reader v2, initialized with the interface. Like this, and then we can do while true HTTP reader poll. Try this. If we get some or else there's something to do, we get some header or some results, and we can say res header target. There is nope, this is only on response, right? What are we even fucking... Yeah, this is a request header, not a response header. So this is kind of fucked. This is HTTP rec v2, which is technically different than response. So a lot of this, yeah, I'm just, hi. Okay, so let's look at HTTP response. So status, right? We want status. What does like a response look like? It's like version, status, and status message, which you don't care about. Then fields and body start, right? It probably looks like kind of like this. And so the first line is version, right? He's got then status, and then we literally just don't care about the rest, right? That's kind of what's happening here. Technically, this is duped with HTTP rec v2, but like in reality, who cares? Then method goes away, target goes away, but version is the same status. Can we, I think we have an HTTP status in here. So is there like stood HTTP status, what we got on this thing? Parse? No. We do a little, I guess we have to parse int on this thing. How do they make these? Is this like a non-exhaustive enum? Can I just do like, yeah, it is. Just got here and seeing you make an HTTP client from scratch just to make a Twitch client. Nice job. Yeah, I mean, we kind of already had one. Well, we had an HTTP server. And the Zig standard library has a client, but it's just not quite the way I want it. You know, so fuck it, you know? 420 blaze it. Thanks for the prime. Because in reality, what we need is not that complicated. Okay, so we need to do a little status int, maybe. That is going to be a stood meta, or stood format parse int in here. It's a U10, I think is what we saw from status and base 10, right? So then we can do a little enum from int on status int, which is totally okay. Fields is still probably the same, and body start is probably the same, and we can probably throw a little, technically this is duplicated as well. I guess the field iterator we definitely want to pull out, right? So it's probably like this field iterator is no longer a member of this thing, and then both of these guys just call the field iterator with the same thing. And in reality, then we can actually just say a field iterator has an init function that acts on some buffer. Like this. And he kind of takes the code that was in here. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. And then now these field iterator guys can just return init with self fields on both the request and response variants of these. Easy peasy. Cool? So this now is actually an HTTP response reader, because he now has, like, you know, they're gonna behave differently, I guess. Yeah. This should say header on it, I think. I don't know. I think something like this. I don't know. We're really feeling it out. Sure. Sure. This field iterator is duplicated. That's what we just said. And now this guy should be able to be like, what is our status? This feels like something that will work. 3 arguments. What does this guy want? Allocator? We can, I think that this is just a scratch thing. So we have scratch buff is like, I don't know, use a meg of scratch space. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a fucking fuck. Heap, they call it for some reason, but this technically is not from the heap. And then can we throw this in here? Okay. HTTP response reader is what this is called now. Poll is mad because we have our body buff here. Goes like this. And we also need our scratch allocator. And then we can also say that every iteration of this loop, we can reset this allocator. Fuck it. Why is he mad? Because this doesn't have an ampersand on it. So he's like, that's not never used that way. We don't give a fuck how much stuff we took here. This has to be tried for this to work. What's going on here? This is mad because this should be HTTP response header v2, but then he can behave exactly the same inside. This guy, what the fuck? Expected type response reader, response header. Oops, I just did the wrong thing. Response header v2. Nice. All right, there we go. No field iter function because I didn't rename this. Response header v2. Okay. This is mad because we don't return here if we're like no content len. We maybe can return 0. Not sure. Probably can, right? If there's no content. Is content like the guaranteed header? I don't know. But instead of looking, we'll just do what we guess, and then we'll get mad later. He doesn't have a dupe function. So true. Okay, well, let's make one. Well, he does. He's just, not implemented correctly. Boom, 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 boom. Throw a dot on here. Maybe do a little macro. Oopsies. Dot, colon, equals, yoink. Oh, fuck, I fucked up. Dot, yoink, colon, paste, comma, boom, boom, boom. I forgot self again. Boom, 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 boom. And then this is a dupe here. Okay. Easy. This guy's mad because he's not got enough arguments. What we missing? Probably the input reader. So true. This guy's pissed because this is the wrong type now. This one. And we are chilling. Okay, he's pissed. Nothing's happening. So, can we start logging? Poll time for poll boy. So I assume that we start polling, and we're actually spamming, which is interesting. So this guy... Oh, we actually have to do a read somewhere, huh? It's a really good point. Wow. So what do we have to do? We try to use the buffer data. If that fails, we do fill more, continue. So this ends up in a loop, right? And then that means that this can fail with read failed, which is fine, right? So, well, in our case, we're expecting blocking reads, so reads should never fail. So we have poll time for poll boy. He never gets out of there, which is interesting. So can we try to see what's going on here? Got content of this. Like, what's happening? What the fuck is going on? So he got this content one time, and then he's like, there's nothing there. Probably because you can't just open a connection and then try to get a response from him, right? You're probably supposed to actually send a request, which we just aren't doing. What does our existing writer look like? Very dead simple, right? It's actually, this is still fine. Okay, so first we're like, hey, I want one of these guys. And hit me with, you know, writer buff, writer with writer buff, and then we're like, hit me with the writer interface. This is an HTTP writer, and let's fucking rip that bad boy. Start. Looks like. Status. Oh, okay. Well, he's expecting to be a request writer. This is very much like server oriented right now, so we have to fix that a little bit. Okay, so what about our... Oh, this is a response writer? I just got this backwards everywhere? Yep, I'm a fucking idiot. Undo, 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 undo. So this existing one is HTTP response writer. Boom, boom, boom. And then this guy is HTTP response writer. Which doesn't need to be a function here. He can just be an init function here. It used to be generic, probably. That would be my guess. And then I would imagine that hold on. HTTP, this is HTTP response writer init now. Okay. So I would imagine that we're going to share a lot of code between the request writer and the response writer, right? The only thing that's going to be different here is what happens in this init function, right? So like this stuff is going to change. But honestly, not by that much. And then all of this is the same, right? So probably we have some sort of, you know, response writer helpers. I don't know. And this stuff just goes in here. You know? And then these functions still live here, I guess, with self. Right, and then it's just like this, right? So you just kind of like cast this shit on, probably. Not that this is like that important, but right body should be streamed from a reader, maybe. Well, I guess we could have stream body as well. We could have them in both ways. And then start body. Okay. And then this is just like writer. This thing is like dead simple, so like it's almost like not even worth writing, but fuck it, you know. All right, there we go. Okay. So now we have a request writer somewhere that's almost the same. But I guess this is just params here. And what is our thing? We have a target that we're trying to go to. We probably have I mean, fuck it, right? Extra and headers. Well, we have append header here. So it's literally just this, right? It's like, I guess method, probably, right? Something like this. Does this exist in the standard library? This feels like the type of thing that would exist in the standard library in a way that we can reuse, actually. Like, when they call, like, fetch, do they have some sort of, like, serializer that we can, like, pull from? They have, like, the, like, request thing, which is, like, very tied to the client, I think. Yeah, it's very tied. So probably here that when this request has like a serialize function on it that's like not really easily reusable. Yeah, it's very much just like inline. Okay. Okay, so we do it our way. It's fine by me. Fine by me. Okay. So what is it? It's like get method URL HTTP version. So it's like method target HTTP 1.1. And I think we need the content length in here. Right, so he is gonna throw that in there. And then we don't have this connection closed shit. Probably. I don't know. And the other headers, we let them kind of serialize as they want. We might support some manual, some like common ones later, but this is fine for now. We should throw content, like, we should fucking throw content type on there. What do we do for the other one? It's just a constitute. Sounds good to me. Wait. Do requests have content type? Yeah, because we're sending you some JSON. Here you go, buddy. Surely. Surely. Okay, cool. So now we want like HTTP request writer. Initialize with this guy. We want to do start. with target is, this. Method is get. Yeah. And maybe this will work. And then we try start body. Boom. And then we flush. Right? Easy. So now this guy should try to answer us. Status. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm smoking. Smoking fat crack, I guess. We want params method. And then is this already? This is probably like just throw a little enum like this in here. Here we want the target. All right. Oh, that's good. Got content of this stuff. Nice. Okay. Okay, so we got this thing. Then what? Why are we crashing here? Okay, let's just try this for a second. So we do get an okay in here, which is good. So we get the response back. However, the next read is falling the fuck over, right? He's getting an unreachable in a rebase here on fill more. Why? What is the unreachable here? Asserts buffer capacity is at least 1. Aha. Okay, so if this is equal to the like total length, like we're not allowed to call this if it's already full. So it's like if self input end is this and this is 0 or something, return error buff too small or something, right? Which is now what's happening. However, this should never happen, right? So unless the header is like really fucking big. But I don't think that's the case. I feel like this consume previous content is not working the way I'd expect. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Is it like gzipped or something? We do toss this. We have a limited reader of the underlying shit. We reset the limited when it's empty. Okay. Let's just print this again. Parse. Right, so we get parse of this stuff. Right? Then we get to here. So this is the header. And then we're just getting like unfinished chunks of shit. So like, did we make a mistake on the content length here? No. Limited reader has this many bytes. It's using chunks transfer encoding. Ah, fuck me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So we think it's 0. Yeah. HTTP chunked transfer encoding. Thank you. So how the fuck does this work? Oh, so that's what this is like. It's like a hexadecimal length at the front or something? 1 AED? Or maybe binary? Each chunk starts with number of octets of the data it embeds. So we probably need like an intermediate reader that like might be a just limited content reader, or it might be a like chunk parser, right? We were gonna need like an HTTP chunk reader or something. Starts with number of octets and data expressed in hexadecimal number in ASCII, followed by parameters. Yeah, okay. Yep. So what we actually need is we need to like initialize reader, which takes in probably HTTP response reader and the header. And here he probably has like, you know, last like a body reader or something is going to be some sort of like, you know, maybe I'm a chunked reader, right? Which we don't have yet. Or it's like limited, which is this. And then the other option is none. And we need to have like chunked reader is going to have, you know, his std IO reader interface in here. And then what else is he gonna do? I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. We probably have some in it. Okay, so he's got, I guess, like internal a limited reader in some way. No, maybe we just kind of, I don't know if we like reuse the limited reader or we just kind of have like remaining in here. Like chunk remaining. Yeah, we probably do this, right? And then we are going to take in, you know, input like this. Something like this. And we are going to implement some sort of like stream function, probably. I don't know, what's in this vtable again? Probably need a buff in here. Do we need a buffer? We might be able to get away with an empty buffer on the chunked reader. Let me think for a second. No, this is the thing that's exposed to the caller. Might have been asked before, but who drew you to Zig as the language that you want to settle on, at least for the moment? What? Sorry, what drew you? Maybe that's what I said. I don't remember. So I get annoyed by software a lot because it's slow and shit, right? I get annoyed by software because it doesn't work good, right? So you're kind of like already just the idea that like a lot of software is slow and shit kind of draws me to low level languages, right? I like C, I like C++. Well, I don't like C++, but like I want something that I can predict the performance of. I think that I'm like an extremist in some ways, in that I don't really understand why people write like C#, Java, Go, etc. Like I do, right? It's because like the cost benefit of is like pretty good, right? You're like, we can write something that works pretty fast, and our developers don't have to be like hyper aware of everything all the time, right? It's like you can hire people who are like, I don't want to say job, I don't want to say mediocre. That's like the wrong word, right? But like it's just like the focus, the time goes somewhere. It's like but anyways, I think just go all the fucking way, right? But then like your options are pretty shit as well, right? Like I really I wrote a lot of Rust. I find Rust quite limiting in some ways. Like the way that I like to write code at this point is I compare it to like sculpting, right? I don't know if you can kind of tell right now, but like I kind of just like start with a rough structure of the thing I'm trying to make, and then I kind of like chip away at the things that I think are important to like make it correct, right? And when you write Rust, you're kind of forced to go all the way before you have a good feeling. It's like I need to like feel out the shape first, you know? I need to like kind of get like a rough idea of what this thing's going to look like before I like really hammer it home. And so like with Rust, you're kind of forced to go all the way in the wrong direction before you discover that it's wrong. You know what I mean? So Rust is out. C's old. We've learned a lot of things since we made C. C++ is dog shit. And so I tried Zig at some point. I'm like, well, this feels pretty good. Right? And so that's how we ended up here. That's how we ended up here. A reverse engineer who watches you and smiles. Well, you're looking at my shit and being like, you're writing security vulnerabilities? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Alright, what's going on here? Input is R. Interface is something. Don't know what yet. Chunk remaining is 0, but 0 is our special case for finished. So we might want to use a sentinel value of, you know, like of max here instead. Which I'm just hoping is not a valid size. We'll have to check for that later, probably. This interface, he's got buffers, body buff. He's got seek starts at 0. So none of this shit is consumed. And then we have end. Also, this thing is empty at this point. And what we got... this is not a pointer, that's why he's pissed. Alright. And then we need our V table. So, V implement stream. Try assembly. Yeah. I think that, you know, I want some of the conveniences that languages in the past 50 years have given us. I think writing assembly is kind of dog shit. It's not really that fun. What happens here? This takes in like a stud IO reader or something, and a writer where he's like writing the content to. I think, and like a limit probably. I'm hearing skill issue. Don't bait me. No baiting. Okay, so he takes in this, and this is probably a reader streamer or something. And what are we doing here? We are trying to consume if we need self. Self is a chunked reader, which is, you know, somewhat related to the interface field on us. And we have, like, if self chunk remaining is max int, we should probably just write this as like, chunk finished is stud math max int or something. And I think we can just say here, if anyone sends us 2 to the power of 64 bytes, they can shove it up their ass. Right? They can go do things that we can't say, I'm not supposed to say on Twitch. Chunk finished. Then we need to read a chunk. Read chunk size. Right? Then, if we have chunk size, we turn this into a limit and we like combine these, right? So can we, is there some sort of like min? There is. We take the actual limit is limit min with limited self chunk remaining. And then we just stream, right? We just go self input stream into this writer with this limit. And we return that. I think. Easy. So now we just have to do the read the chunk part, which is just self input got a new monitor yet? Nope. So we need to find a RN in here, probably, right? Is that what this is? Does this thing come in with a... Here, let's just zoom in. That looks like a /r/n to me. So this is actually like a little annoying because the reader API has like take until delimiter, which isn't really what we want. We need some sort of like find HTTP line end, which is going to get a little clever, right? He's going to be like, all right, let's do like some loop probably where we try to look at the buffered data, and we could do like a std mem index of this guy in this buffer, or else we try to do a like buff fill more or something, r fill more. Continue. But then we're in the problem here again where this like fill more thing it will like get mad if the thing's not fucking empty or if it's full. Is there like already a like fill more that doesn't freak the fuck out? I guess we'll just do a little safe fill more. How about that? How about that? How about that? I'm sure there's a better way. But whatever. And then we can kind of do this down here as well. Bing, bang, boom. I'm probably going to write this code so many times, but also whatever. Okay, so now we can do a little find HTTP line end. And then we try to do a little parse int base 16 into a usize from the buffered from here to line end. Perfect. And then this is the len, and we can then toss line end +2 for the RN, or just the individual RN. And then this is actually self chunk remaining, like this. Easy. Easy peasy. So now our reader should be able to basically, depending on the transfer encoding, okay, so this guy is like, we're gonna return either, I guess we'll say like content len of one of, what are his options? He's got like can we do content encoding maybe? and we got like length, like, or chunked, right? Something like that. If you're willing to tolerate disallowing R in the middle of the header, you can do take sentinel R if take byte not equal dot and whatever. It's whatever. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Transfer encoding. I guess is the default. Like, what happens if there's no transfer encoding? I don't want to read the spec, so we'll just ask the idiot, and then we'll be wrong. Does a HTTP response have to have a transfer encoding? Or can it assume one? Surely it won't get the spec wrong. Surely. If we see chunked, otherwise content length, otherwise end of body is indicated by closing connection. That's crazy. But we can say like remaining is actually apparently a valid option. Remaining. That's crazy. Okay, so we might see transfer coding, we might see content length. If we see content length, this is going to be parsed as a usize. And probably you can't have both. Surely you can't have both. Right? Surely. If Clanker didn't lie. Yeah. And he might have. He's a fucking lying piece of shit, and he doesn't know anything. But you can't make me try. You can't make me care. Can we do a little, like, relevant headers? Headers with an A. We got a little content length. We got a little transfer encoding. Focus on making the core functionality work reliably before adding features. Common Twitch issues are reconnection handling and rate limits. You can't tell me what to do. I get to focus on whatever the fuck I want. This is the joy. The joy of not having a real job with money that needs to come in is that I don't have to do the, like, quickest path to shipping. I get to do the quickest path to making my little brain worm a little happy. You know? So I get to do whatever I want. It's sick. String to enum. We're trying to get a relevant header out of the lower key. And if we don't see this, we're like, okay, next fucking header, please, sir. Then we can switch on this guy. We'll call it RH. And once again, I always make this plural when I'm writing it, but I think you want it to be singular on use. If I see content length, but think of shareholder value, yeah. He knows nothing and is always wrong, but I'm asking because he's still smarter than me. Okay, you don't have to make me sound stupid like that. But yes. Yes, okay? Transfer encoding. Okay, so if we do this, we break. And if we see transfer encoding, it better fucking be chunked. Do we need to lower value as well? I guess this lower buff. Oh, nice. We can lower buff again. Wow, we're so fucking smart. Look at this. Lower val, we can reuse the lower buff because we've already parsed it into an enum. Look at this. We're fucking geniuses. So if this is not chunked, we freak the fuck out. Unsupported transfer encoding. But if he is chunked, then we say, I think we can just return chunked here, right? I think. I don't know. And probably we actually just return here as well, right? So this is like length of this. Something like that. I don't know. What did I just fucking do? Try here. Bang, bang, boom. Bang, bang, boom. And then if we get to the end, we're just like... Huck this shit at it, dude. And then... we have... This should be like... extract content encoding or something instead. Nice. It's fun watching you do this because I understand none of it. Don't worry, me too. We're literally just typing. We're vibe coding. This is what I've been calling vibe coding. Content encoding. Didn't you tell me you disagree with Postel's law? Who the fuck is Postel's law? Who the fuck is Postel? I mean, I probably did. Be conservative in what you do, be liberal in what you accept from others. Oh yeah, I definitely disagree with this. Yeah. Fuck, dude, I'm so fucking tired of people saying that there are like laws about dude, I'm so fucking tired of people saying Occam's razor. Like it's some universal fucking truth. Oh, wait, I misunderstood what this is. I misunderstood. I thought you meant like in terms of software contribution, not in terms of what I accept. You know, I might agree with this. The content name is confusing because there's a content encoding header. Yeah, that's true. Transfer encoding is the word I should be using. You're right. I'm a dumbass. This should just be transfer encoding. I would have to know what I said last time, but I bet you it was consistent. Your type speed looks like it's pretty crazy. Did you measure already? This is actually a 2 times VOD of something I did earlier. Would you believe that? Just lie. I'm just fucking making shit up all the time. Like, I'm pretending that I'm coding confused, but I've actually already finished it. It's a little secret. It's probably like 120. Chunked. So in this case, we look at our body reader, and this is a chunked reader who is chunked reader init with input and body buff. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it when it all just kind of works. If we see what's happening now? Well, who's fucking pissed? Someone's mad. Self-limited. Okay. So if we see limited or I guess we also in here have just like I think that if we see remaining, we just have to like tank that shit. Probably. Right? So if we have like consume previous content, well, we'll get here, but it's like you know, if we're like remaining, I think it's just a return like either like null or like an error here that's like no more headers or something, right? Like I'm not really sure. Maybe this returns a bool and this returns true and everyone else returns false or something. And then this is like, if this happens, return null. There's like literally nothing to do ever again. But like, that's kind of confusing because like callers of this thing should be told that it's over, right? So like maybe this guy, maybe this result has like a flag for like it's done, or it just returns like end of stream. That's maybe it. Right? Just like act the same way as if we ran out of data. Sure. Fuck it. Okay, and if we're chunked, we have kind of the same thing. Yep. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, so then if we're limited, we have a size, and we kind of construct ourselves like this. Uh-huh. And if it's remaining, do we also pretend we're limited? Is that kind of what we're doing here? No, we just say remaining. And then don't we have to like return this thing? So I think each of these guys is in charge of, I don't know, like extracting the interface out of this thing, or this returns the interface. That's probably it. Interface, body interface, maybe body reader. So this is like return self body reader chunked interface. Boom. This is like return self body reader limited interface. Boom. And then this guy is like, just give him back the input. Here you go. And not return. Break block. Here you go. Just have that shit back. Something like that. And then this guy can dupe the header. I guess we can assert here that our body reader is none. So consume previous content should fucking like finish that shit. And if he sees none, he also has nothing to do. He's kind of bored. Bored out of his fucking mind, this guy. Alright. Sure, fuck it. I don't know. Where does this toss happen? Like, at this point, it's already initialized. So we kind of have to make sure that this happens. Whether or not this succeeds, this has to be ready to fucking go, because we already have the body reader, like, constructed. And so he's going to get accessed, so we kind of have to be ready. Alright. So initially we are in none state. Here, what's going on? He's like, inline? Can you do, is this allowed? Holy shit, it is. Oh, wait, what's he pissed about? Yeah, like this. Pointer. No field name limited. Okay, what do we fucking call it then? Length. Fine. Fuck you, whoever wrote that. Some fucking idiot. Yeah, I guess we do need to return this, huh? What's going on here? Try find HTTP line end, found some fucking shit. Oh, sure. Because this can return buff too small. So what is he supposed to return? Probably read failed to stay consistent. I think so. Found invalid character overflow. Yep. So we just say fuck off here. All right. Well, we segfaulted. That's cool. It's kind of a shocker. Kind of a shocker. It's been a while since I've segfaulted. I'm a little bit of a dumb piece of shit myself. You know that movie? What's it called? Spider-Man? Spider-Man 1 from 2003? That's my guess. Spider-Man 2002. I was close. I was close. I'm a little bit of a scientist myself. All right, what's going on here? What are we fucking up? Index of pause. So we are doing a little index of on find line end. We're not like recursed out the fucking ass. We're probably in some sort of discard. Why is this recursing? Because I'm probably fucking calling the wrong reader. Like, what is happening here? We're calling chunk reader stream calls chunk reader stream. Are we fucking high? Input is the fuck? What the fuck? Oh. Input. My bad. Okay, now we're like crashing in a sane way. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So he's pissed off because we're just indexing into 0 to line end or something. And like, what if line end is less than... no, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Fuck you, GDB. Alright. Len 0. So, like, shouldn't this guy freak the fuck out? Oh, I mean, I guess this technically can be immediate RN, right? Why, though? Wait, but isn't that also fine? So he's found something? Am I fucking high? He's like, yo, hit me with the buffer. Tell me when you find an RN. He returns the index of this thing. So he says, I found 4. Right? Then we try to look at the content from 0 to 4, and he's like, Oh. God fucking damn it, dude. I hate it when two things have the same type. I hate it. Alright, so now we're again, oh my god, I did it in every single part I could. Okay. So, I guess probably it's up to us to close this if we don't want to send another request. That's cool. I think we're kind of chilling. I think this might actually work. So if we go, content should be, how do you do this? While true. Res body reader take some amount. Is there like, can I just be like, give me some? Fills the buffer such that contains at least this many bytes without advancing the seek position. I want like take. Is there like some sort of like take greedy? Peak greedy. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to get lazy with it. And then this thing will eventually say we hit the fucking end, and like will crash? No. If buff... Does this not... Whoa, hold on. Will this not return 0? So if there are fewer, then this will return end of stream. So should this not return end of stream at some point? Why are we still alive? Heyo. Like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, because he's fucking blocking. I forgot about blocking. Fucking blocking. Shouldn't he end of stream though? Oh, the chunked reader doesn't exit out early. We need to fix that. We need to fix that. The chunked reader, where the fuck that is, this guy needs to say, if chunk remaining is 0, we return error end of stream. We're fucking donezo. Hello? I guess we also have to decrease this, right? Red bytes is this. We say, like, chunk remaining minus equals red bytes. Return red bytes. Try here. Okay, we are at a little unreachable now. What the fuck is going on? Hello, world. Hello. World. What is he fucking bitching about? We're streaming. What the fuck? Self-input stream with the actual limit. He's like, I'm streaming into some place that has no buffer. Right? That's what he's complaining about. He's saying, like, the destination length is 0. So I can't fucking do shit. But why? Whose buffer is he trying to use? Because, like, this input buffer exists, and we have an output buffer. Is it safe to just use HTTP? Well, we can always... We're writing this in a way where you can always, like, huck an HTTPS connection at the same... Like, on top of it. We're trying to write it in a way that's, like, abstract. So, I think it should be fine. Is it if the limit is 0 here? We're bugged? Is that the problem? That the limit can't be 0? And we're, like, somehow ending up in that case? It could be something like that. Could be something like that. Yeah, that would do it, huh? That seems bad. I guess it's like this. There we go. Now we're getting an end of stream, which is good. There we go. Nice. So, catch error end of stream. We're just donezo. Okay. And then we get a read failed because the other guy just, like, closed. So after he responded, he's like, I'm donezo, sir. We're fucking out of there. So it feels like that's kind of working. We should probably try, like, we need, like, in reality, we need to capture some request responses from a few URLs, a few places, and what's it called? Fuck me. What am I trying to say? And throw them in a test. We probably like variety. We want content, like someone who responds with content length, someone who responds with remaining, someone who responds with chunked data. I think that's really it for now, for like in terms of the this is for someone else. Response reader, probably. Yeah, it's probably this guy. We did it! We did it! Okay, so this gets us to the point where we can finally go back to trying to write an HTTP client that like hits the event loop, right? So if we are trying to, was that even where we started? I don't even remember. I don't even fucking remember. But now if we do something, what? Who am I getting from initially? What was the like Twitch auth flow? It was like, oh my god, Twitch OAuth token. Is this guy. So we first tell a user to go somewhere, then they go there, it redirects them to us, then we call a post somewhere with the code again, I think, if I remember correctly. So we were actually trying to fix the server, which is funny, and we got a little distracted. But we did write a client, which is a client that works, which is kind of nice. So can we throw a little client example at this, and then can we do a little server example as well? Can we do a little server example as well? What's he pissed about? Oh, because that doesn't exist. Server. What the fuck am I doing? Maker? Am I fucking high? Touch. Pub function main. Return error. Uh-oh. Okay. So, what are we doing? We are going like we are trying to get some sort of like address here. We're gonna serve on everyone. Port 9943 or something. I don't know. Who fucking gives a shit? Adder, does this thing fail? No, we are trying to like listen on this thing. We are going to allow ourselves to reuse because I always crash and then it doesn't close the connection properly. We have some service here. We kind of do, or stream connection. I don't know. No, this is a, what does this return? Server. While we are alive, we try to do something. We try to accept from this connect service with a connect server with a connection. And here is where we would want to instantiate our HTTP connection thing, right? So I guess what we really want is like we get our like reader out of this thing and a writer out of this thing, right? These things, I guess they might be completely independent. Unsure at this point. And so like what does it look like here? What do we want? We want like a request. We have response reader v2. And I guess we want request reader v2 as well. Right? Which is gonna yeah. And so there's going to be a lot of commonalities between these guys, right? It's like all of this body reader stuff is exactly the same. Right? It's literally just like the header parsing that's different, just this part. But then like everything after is the same. So who handles that? It's probably just like some sort of like HTTP body reader. Right? Something like that. And then this thing is called like data inside. And then we kind of have like a like reader API on this thing, right? That basically does this. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Switch on data. And I guess it's like this. Probably something like this. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. So if it's chunked or limited, these are the same, right? So this is inline is what we did last time. And then we have like R and we turn like R interface is what we did. If it's remaining, return R. And then if it's none, return null. Which means that this has to be an optional, I guess. And then we have the like consume previous content probably lives on this guy now. We just call this like discard all or something, and we get the reader. Yep. And we literally like just discard all. Fuck off, you know? Get me out of there. Get out of there. Although I guess technically we did something different before, which was on remaining, we just say like no. Because like we kind of know like that like internally we never want this. We give the body to callers, and if the entire stream is body, we can short circuit actually reading it and just call it a day. Right? We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck! Alright. There's something here. There you go. Alright. So now this guy, he's like, yo, hit with the body reader, baby. And we're like, okay, HT body reader, here you go. And so we say like self body reader discard all, like this. We still parse this stuff here. And then this like extract transfer encoding is interesting. So this is probably we initialize this guy with the header iterator, because like the header iterator type is the header type is different for request responses, but the header fields are the same, I think. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Is this a like self already exists angle? Probably, right? So we're kind of like make reader or something. I don't know yet. And field iter is a field iter. Bing bang boom, right? Or you could make this from like header as an any type, right? You could do this as well. This is valid, and you can kind of say like header can be either can be a request or response, but it needs the field iter function. Yeah, so I guess init here needs to exist, but he's literally just gonna return none, right? Then when we're like assigning this thing based off of the new header, we're gonna like update, make read. I don't know. This needs a better name. I don't know what to call it though. Like I almost want to just say update or something, but whatever. So iter, this guy gets this like extract transfer encoding stuff, right? I think this kind of like now lives in this guy's world. And header is literally any type here. Then this guy does whatever we were doing in like the reader section before, right? So he like gets the transfer encoding. Depending on the transfer encoding, he reassigns himself, and then does he toss input, or is that part of his job? Unclear. Probably not. That would be my guess. That would be my guess, but who fucking knows? Okay. So this now looks kind of more like this. And then we don't have to break out of this thing because we're kind of just assigning ourselves, and then they'll call reader externally later, I think. So fuck these block tags, which is kind of nice. This is getting somewhere nicer, I think. So now down here, wherever the fuck we were, this guy is like, okay, body reader, make reader, here's your header, and here's your body buff. And then it's up to us to toss the body, toss the header content. So now that this is ready, we're like, okay, we're good to go. And here you go. Right, something like this. Okay, kind of just fuck this whole server example for a second while we figure this out. What's he pissed about? Switch on this. Yeah, that's so true. We switch on self data, I guess. I guess technically this can just be a union enum. Like there's nothing stopping that from happening. Okay. And then this self.star is chill again. This guy's mad because I guess he needs like the reader. Right? This doesn't exist anymore, so this kind of goes here. This goes here and here. What you working on today? Big dog. Variety stuff was what kind of like the plan, but we kind of ended up writing we're trying to write a kind of cleaner async HTTP server and client is where we ended up. So that's kind of what you're seeing right now. Why is this pissed? No function reader. I see it right here. Okay, this guy's pissed the fuck off because he's like, I expected this and I found a constant thing. Because we need to put stars here, I guess. Hit me with the star, baby. I guess if there is no reader, I guess we should just, we can assume that there is, right? Because if they gave us a body, we're never assigning none here. But, I mean, we can do a little, that's fine. It's fine. All right. So does our client example still work? Am I fucking stupid? Yeah, because I called this client example again. Okay, so it looks like we got the whole shit. I actually have to double check here because I think that there's a bunch of shit being printed that we don't want. Heyo, so we get this. This does not look finished to me, to be honest. Document, create element. It's hard to tell. Can we log that we got chunks? Because we should be seeing multiple chunks, but... Oh, we're idiots. We're only reading the first chunk. So we start at 0. If chunk remaining is 0... This was never working. Then, if chunk remaining is still 0 after we do this, then we return end of stream. Yeah. That looks more complete to me. Can we, std debug print next chunk like this? Let's just take a little peek skis. Do we get some content out of this thing or what? Or what? Fuck off. Semicolon. Chunk. Next chunk. We only see that one time, which seems like a bug. Right? Yeah, we're seeing invalid character on the next parse, which seems bad. How does this work again? It's transfer encoding. For RN. Then we see wiki RN. Oh, we have to consume an extra RN, huh? That's what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, RN, 7, RN, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, RN. Yeah, we're missing RN consumption. Which is a little annoying. A little annoying. So that kind of means that when we make... Like, it's like the chunked reader wants to toss less of a thing, or we need, like, to special case the beginning. Or the end. If this is non-blocking, this will fuck everything up. Yeah. This needs to be a little bit more state machiney, I think, to support non-blocking reads a little better. Right? Because, like, this guy... Like, if we hit this... Well, I guess this will return read failed for non... If this returns non-blocking, that's fine. We didn't consume anything, I don't think. Yeah. So we only toss if this all succeeds. So maybe that's fine. But this stuff down here, we really need to like handle the case where we're at 0. So I'm back to thinking this is stood math max int or read chunk len flag. Okay, here we go. We can get there. We can get there. What do you do if the header reader buffer is smaller than chunk size? I think just like fuck them, you know? Okay. So if we are at 0, we set this to read chunk len flag after consuming stood after trying to like take 2 from the input. Yeah. Then if we're at read chunk len flag, then we try to read the next shit. How does discard work if we fail? I'm a little concerned about this. I think I want to do a peek and then toss. I think. Discard streams and could happen in could have partial application. For non-blocking reads, we want to make sure that we have idempotent state or something, whatever the fuck we want to call it. So we peek and toss to confirm. Yep, that seems good. So we try this, we read this. If we get through both of these guys, and we're still 0, then we're at the end. That seems right. True. Toss can't fail. So true, baby. Oh, okay. That looks good. That looks way more like we actually finished reading, right? Because we get like the end of the HTML here. That's good. And then we see next chunk 0, and then we probably return to the stream, right? I think we're chilling. Can we just double check? Bye-bye. Yep. Chill. There we go. It's actually fucking working now. Maybe. I mean, as much as we've checked, which is less than we should. Okay. So then what were we trying to do? We were trying to start running like a server example, but we checked that the client example was still working and then realized it was never working to begin with. So we're back. We're so back. Let's do server example. Okay, let's come back. So this guy, what's he want to do? He's like, hit me with a request. Right? So he's like, I'm going to take that reader and I'm going to make a oh, we don't have that yet. That's what we were making. We were trying to make the next version of this thing. So we had request reader or response reader. So we want the request reader, which is going to look almost the fucking same. Right? Here we are. So we still have the body reader. We still have input. We still have, this is going to be a request header. Request header, and then this rec v2 thing that we were making earlier, this can now be HTTP request header v2, which we will eventually need to kind of fold out the v2s of everything, but for now this is fine. We read HTTP request header this time, right? We're a request parser? Yeah, we're a request parser. We read the requests, we do the body shit, and then return, and then we're chill. And then this consume previous content shit dies, and it should be dead in the other one as well. We're kind of finished with that. He's done somewhere else now. Okay. So, rec reader is a std net nope, HTTP request reader initialized with reader interface. Huge. While we pull this thing with our, we have some scratch buffer is, what do we want? Like a meg? Fuck it. Stood heap fixed buffer allocator initialized with the scratch buff. Boom. Now we pull this thing with this allocator. Boom. This is while true, and then we try probably. Pull. We have some body buff. What was it? Like scratch and body buff, which technically could be pulled into the scratch allocator, by the way. But whatever. Okay, and so we can then like look at the header target this time. Am I fucking high? Did I make a response reader? Request reader. But request is returning response because we're fucking stupid dumb idiots. There we go. And then this guy is polling on the request reader as well. Dude, request and response and header and reader look so similar. Like, I think that I'm honestly reading the shape of the word more than anything. And so, like, this is, like, really fucking with my brain when they all look the same. That's funny. Is that better? Nice. Stood. Debug. Print. Got this method on this URL. Let's take a little peek. Rec dot header dot method. All right. Cool. Cool. Server does need to be variable for that to work. Fine. Fine. Jerk. Dweep? Dweep, is that's that, pop singer? Dweepa? I actually don't know if she's pop or hip hop or whatever. Okay. So can we curl localhost 3000? Or what do we call it? No, it's a 99 something, right? Rage rate increases engagement. 9943, and we probably want to curl HTTP localhost. Ooh, gotta get on this thing, baby. Let's fucking go. That's not fucking bad. That's not bad. Sick. So then we, it's kind of interesting that, I guess this can just return end of stream, right? So like, I think it's like if we get end of stream in here, like if is equal to error end of stream, we just are finished this connection, right? So we break here. And so then we should just start waiting for the next thing, right? We go, boom, he goes, okay. And we actually have to return something now, right? So, do we have that thing in our HTTP stuff already? Maybe. What the fuck did I just do? So do we have some sort of response writer? Did we want to change this? No, right? We made request writer and we copied this, but like response writer was chill the way he is. right? So we're like, okay, let's fucking let this shit rip. Response. And here we're like, response. Hello. Oh, repsons. Repsons. Response. Start. Content length is body len. Let's make a body. Hello world. Content type is what? It's like application text or something. Status. We're like, okay, we're fucking good to go. Sure. Response. Right body with body. Writer flush. And then I think we're just kind of fucking chill, right? This is just Dunzo? I guess we need to look, we're technically supposed to look at the rec request. But we're just kind of responding with the same thing, no matter fucking what. Fuck! Hit him with the okay. That's not bad. That's not bad! We can then try to do something where we what am I doing? Like, you could dispatch in this example, but that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. Like, in terms of interface now, I think all of this stuff should work in non-blocking mode. We need to start pulling out like the versions of this thing that work around a event loop. But I think I'm much happier with this client and server now. Like, in terms of how this works now, before, these things were like really tied together. Our event loop, wherever the fuck that is. What do we call this? Event. Why is that not in here anywhere? Because I'm in the wrong folder. So before, our like HTTP connection in this thing, it was very like tied to the event loop, right? What did we do? We like tried to parse the header directly in this like HTTP connection type, and then we required a caller to pass in a context that we would then feed with the data we read. What we should be able to do now, which I'm not 100% on, but we should be able to have like my custom event loop handler, right? And he will hold like, you know, some connection in here, right? So he's gonna have like con is stood net stream or something, right? And then he will, in his own poll function, he'll just be like, well, I have like a reader, right? P HTTP request reader, right? And he'll be like on my reader interface or whatever. So he's gonna have like his own reader interface here, right? Or whatever. I don't know. It's gonna look something like this. I don't know. Something like this. I guess it's like this, right? And in poll, we can then just call like poll on the inner thing, right? And we'll hold scratch in here probably, and we'll have our own like body buff in here probably. I guess it's gonna have to get a little complicated where we're gonna have like some state, which is like body, like we're gonna have in here like body, like reading body or like header, right? So it'll be like something like this. Or like default. And then in reading body, he's gonna have like his body reader here. Yup. So this guy kind of goes like this. Yeah, it's gonna be along these lines, or else return, I guess. Then reading body. We're gonna have to like consume this reader to some extent till it's done. So we're gonna be like R read or whatever, like if this is finished, you know, finished or whatever. This is not like the correct API. Then we can like dispatch something or other. We also have the choice of if we are trying to like lazily do something with this data, we have the option to pass this reader around instead of trying to like consume the whole thing. And then this has like some sort of like look at request header, dispatch, etc. Which I think I like better. This might be a little bit too involved. We might have to make like a little bit of a wrapper in the event library to if there's like too much common stuff in here. But I don't think there's like a ton in here that is duplicated. So I think I would hope, I'm hoping that like we can kind of just nuke the HTTP connection type from the event loop library entirely. Right? Because like this guy before would take in callbacks through like this context type. And then it was kind of complicated. He had to do event loop handler handoff and stuff. And it would just be nicer if this guy just doesn't have to exist. And so we just have like our own custom thing who's like, read the fucking request. And if you get the request and it's done, here you fucking go. Right? Easy peasy. Easy fucking peasy. Cool. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I guess what will happen is all of this stuff we just did probably goes on YouTube, right? So thank you, YouTube viewers, for watching. If you like what you saw, we stream most days. We aim for 12:30 Pacific time to 4 o'clock Pacific time. Check out the Twitch. Some stuff does not go up there. It really depends on if I get like a nice proper title and thumbnailable thing out of the stream. If we kind of, or if we're kind of like making more meandery progress, that stuff ends up in Patreon or Twitch VODs or on YouTube Member. Twitch viewers, I haven't decided if I'm going to stick around yet, so give me a sec to think about that. But YouTube viewers, peace out. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.